Hey, this is Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and today we're going to be talking about virtual consults, specifically for Invisalign, ClearCorrect, braces, or any type of orthodontics, how to implement them in your office or in your practice easily without a ton of money. And this is kind of my go-to plan. You can create your own plan for sure, and there's some turnkey systems that are out there, but this is like a real legit way to do this without too much money down, without too much work from your team. I'm going to kind of walk you through my recommendations. If you want to see the blog version of this, you can go to my website at StraightSmileSolutions.com, click on About Us, and click on Blog. And it's October 2020. At the moment, it's the most recent blog that's on there, but if not, you can put in virtual consult and it should pop up, or just virtual in the search bar. But anyways, this is my suggestion. This will work for both orthodontists and general and pediatric dentists who want to do ortho. So these are two totally different animals. Obviously, orthodontists have been doing this for some time. A lot of orthos really aggressively started doing this during COVID because it was the only way they could still get a revenue stream in their practice. So I've been following a few orthos and how they're doing it. And then we started implementing this with some general dentists and some pediatric dentists as well. And it's great because I follow a lot of forums and chat rooms and stuff that are consumer facing. And this is something consumers are actually searching for and they're actually looking for. So they're actually searching for Invisalign virtual consult, clear aligners virtual consult. So let's high level again. First of all, you need to know your own Dental Practice Act. There are some states that it is not legal to do a complete virtual consult. I don't call this a complete, or teledentistry isn't legal in a few states. So I call this a screening process. This is not unnecessarily, I'm not billing something from the exam necessarily, This is a way to screen them and see if they're a good fit for my practice and to really qualify the start or the exam. Yes, sometimes you might be able to send them the paperwork and finish it and get them all contracted, of course. But for the most part, it's going to put a high quality potential start in your chair by screening them out. So you should have some idea if you're doing ortho, and if you have, especially if you're an orthodontist, you have some idea of your rate of acceptance. I remember I would have a rate of the starts that come in, what percentage were actually qualified starts, like they were ready to start. I said, yes, you're a good candidate for something that I have to offer, and then from there, of those that were qualified starts, what percentage actually started. So this will really boost that rate if you do this. And it's great because you're going to save chair time. Right now is so precious. Office time, chair time with COVID. You do not need to be having some of these patients coming in. A lot of these conversations you can have through Zoom. And patients actually, the vast majority of patients actually prefer this. When you ask them, they would love this, especially if you don't charge anything for it. So I'm going to take you through how much it costs, how to do it, what the steps are, and how to implement it with your team. So, all right. So first of all, two different things we want to talk about. There's asynchronous and synchronous virtual consults. So asynchronous is when you're getting in like some pictures and some information, and then you're messaging them back, or you're emailing them back on a HIPAA compliant email or some type of dashboard or something like that, which is okay, but that's going to have a much lower conversion rate than a synchronous virtual consult, which is when there's actually somebody on their end, somebody on your end, either you or a TC or an OM, that's actually chatting, that's completely different. That's going to have a much higher conversion rate. So my suggestion is to do both, okay? So first of all, I like the idea of getting one of these widgets. And a widget is something that you can embed in your website with some code. All you got to do is create it, give your code to your website developer. They'll plunk it in and it'll be like, hey, click here for a virtual consult for orthodontics or for orthodontics and implants or anything like that. The two widgets that I vetted and I liked are Smile Snap, which is a turnkey virtual consult widget. It came out even before COVID. I was using it way before then. It was a little harder to get people to hop on board, but since then it's been very easy. And another one that was developed again before COVID by a general dentist is not a, what do you call it? It's not an industry professional. It's an actual general dentist that created this. gporthotracking.com, letter G, letter P, orthotracking.com. And the price point, I think, to start these, sometimes they have a no cost to set it up. In general, it's maybe $100 or $200 to get it set up. to put your branding on it, stuff like that, and to get that code that can get plunked into your website. And then from there, some of them have like a per submission type thing, but most of them just have an unlimited submission form. You know, it's basically like a form. It's a HIPAA compliant Google form that goes to you through email. And I think it's maybe between $100 and $200 a month for unlimited submissions for both of these. So you can have tons of people coming in, and you can actually start marketing for virtual consults, you know, on Facebook ads, Instagram. Hey, click here for virtual consult, talk to our dentist, find out if you're a candidate, find out how much your aligners are. Now, my suggestion before you do this is that you create a little bit more transparent pricing and put your pricing on your website, because you don't want people thinking they're going to be spending $900 for aligners, and then you're like, I'm sorry, this will be $5,000, and they, you know, completely wasted their time. I think you should have very transparent pricing. You know, you can see some of my other video blogs on YouTube about pricing and what the going rates are and what people are doing. So you should definitely watch those. From there, I like the idea of the patients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, being able to submit that form with selfie photos. So it actually shows what the photos should look like, how they should be oriented, how they should upload them, where they upload them, and it gives them instructions. It recommends that they use chopsticks or spoons to go ahead and retract on the biting pictures. It shows exactly what you need. You can put your branding on it, etc. So if you want to make it even cooler, you can always have, say, click here and we'll send you a retractor, but then that delays it and it makes them have to wait till the retractor comes in. So I like the idea of them just being able to do it when they find it, you know? So then you're going to get a HIPAA compliant form that's going to come in with 6 or 8 selfie pictures. You know, they can just do this from their phone. You know, obviously front, side, top, bottom, and a couple of facial pictures, as well as some idea of what they're looking for. Chief complaint, what they're looking for. I'm looking for braces. I'm looking for aligners. So this form will be created for your team. And then you can have unlimited submissions. And then, you know, it'll say something to the patient like, thanks so much for submitting your selfie pics. Our doctor will get back to you in 1 to 2 business days or something like that. You can come up with that. And then from there, you can go over this with your team when they come in and be like, yeah, this looks like a candidate. This is somebody that, you know, you can kind of sort through. I'd like to see this patient actually in my office. Obviously, if I saw like big decay or, you know, all kinds of things that needed to be addressed, well, you know, we need to see him in the office. Or if I saw a really weird, funky bite, I'm not sure about it, I might want to see him in the office. But if it looks like a pretty straightforward case, or if the patient's just looking for anterior alignment, or they're just wanting to close a gap or something pretty simple, maybe we'll go ahead and schedule a synchronous consult. So that would be the next step. So the next step, we'd go ahead and have you either have the patient go to the website to finish their paperwork, you know, their regular office paperwork, or you can send them their DocuSigns. I love the idea of giving them a SMILE questionnaire as well. I have templates for that, just a little bit more about what they're looking for, what things they like and don't like about their SMILE. Same kind of thing you might be doing in office when you actually talk to the patient during the consult, you know, but you can get it all in paper, so at least it can lead those questions. And then, you know, from there, you can decide, like I said, are they going to come into the office and have a live consult, or can we do a synchronous consult? If you're going to do a virtual consult, you can use Zoom. Zoom for Healthcare is very affordable, and you can create a private link and room for each patient as it comes up. Once they filled out their paperwork and their SMILE questionnaire, you can go ahead and send them. I like Calendly. That's another one I like. You've probably seen it before. It is I think I spent $144 a month for my Calendly, and that removes the Calendly branding. So you won't necessarily know it's Calendly. If you go to my website and you schedule a phone call, that's Calendly, just to let you know. It's really affordable. I mean, like $20 a month. And you can just set aside, I love the idea of having a variety of different appointments per week. You know, maybe you have an admin day every Thursday and it's the whole day that you have slots available. Maybe you're going to book them on the hour, on the half hour. I would recommend booking them on the half hour because a lot of people probably won't show up. You know, there'll be a certain no-show rate, but hey, it's a virtual no-show rate. So if they don't show up, you just do something else, right? It's not like you're wasting a room. So you can even double book them, and have your TC run the show, or your OM run the show, or your back office RDA, or whoever knows ortho pretty well run the show. They can man the virtual consults, the synchronous virtual consults. And if the patients show up in the waiting room, you know, you can start the exam. Hey, I see your SMILE questionnaire. I see your selfie pictures. Doctor took a look. He thinks you'd be a great candidate. Let's talk about a little bit of what you're looking for. And then if it seems like a good qualified lead, you get some idea if they're ready to get started right then, you can always pull the doctor in, as needed. So it doesn't mean the doctor's going to sit down at the computer the whole day, just they're pulled in when needed. Obviously, if they're saying, oh, I'm just interested for the future, I'm not really interested right now, or I don't have any money, I'm thinking about it in 6 months, well, then you don't need to pull the doctor in. You're just giving them some information. Doctor did take a look at your pictures. This is what he's thinking, let's follow up in 3 months. But you will find you will get some actual starts doing this. And these, obviously, if you're an orthodontist, this is amazing. This is a start that you can start even on an admin day. You could be bringing in revenue. That's crazy. You'd be surprised how many people actually will. You can start, send them the documents, everything like that. Of course, you don't have x-rays or anything yet, and you're going to do that at the first visit. So, you got a contract. It can always be subject to change. As you figure it out. I mean, some surprises happen when you take an x-ray, right? You do the limited exam and you're like, oh shoot, there's a few cavities here. And in that case, you just finish your work first and then you start. But in any case, I think it's pretty awesome that you can do this. It doesn't take up too much doctor time. One team member can do 1 day a week with this, or 1/2 day a week with this. And they don't have to be seeing patients. So it could be someone that maybe is needing to quarantine or doing this from their home office. As long as they have a professional background or a green screen or something like that, they can still be working for your office and bringing in revenue while they're still working from home. So that's what I love about it. So anyways, that's pretty much the way it works. You can even go ahead and open contracts and everything through DocuSign. So I mean, literally, let's say price point. If I had to say how much it would cost you to do this, if you didn't already have the software or anything like that, your Calendly is going to be about $20 a month. Your startup fees with SmileSnap or GP Ortho Tracking is going to be $100 or $200, another $100, $150, $200 per month. So we're about $200. DocuSign, I think, costs me maybe $400 or $500 a year for unlimited forms. I think there's cheaper versions where you can have less forms. But I mean, overall, maybe $500, $600 to get started, and maybe $200 a month, $200, $300 a month. I mean, not too bad. For an opportunity to get starts without even having patients in the office, and using admin days. This is pretty awesome. So yeah, a lot of doctors are doing it. And if you're a general or pediatric dentist, it's great because, I mean, this is a potential patient for your practice as well. And maybe you'll get the rest of them for general work. I mean, there's a huge value to this. And if people really don't want to do it, they can still come in and have an in-person, exam. That's totally fine. It's just, it may not be as convenient of hours. And we want to, there's a lot of, what I call it, trickle off. So sometimes when you have a consult appointment that's too far off, a lot of times patients just don't show because they go find their aligners or their case done somewhere else. So you really want to always be addressing potential consult patients the same week if possible, or even within a day or two if possible. And this way with virtual consults, you can address everyone if they're open to being addressed that way. If they're really insistent on an in-person consult, well, that's great, But most people, when you offer it, I think most people now are pretty tech savvy. With Zoom is something they're comfortable with. DocuSign is something they're comfortable with. The SmileSnap and GP Ortho Tracking, maybe not. And you don't have to do that part with the asynchronous, and the selfie photos. It's just going to help to screen out patients a little bit more. So you don't have to waste that time slot, or you don't have to waste that in-person visit if they're not a candidate. So the pictures will be really helpful. I think it'll save you a lot of money in the long run if you do it that way. All right, thanks so much. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, you can go to StraightSmileSolutions.com.